Hello, this is Bill Clodsey. Welcome to a War of the Spark draft here on Magic Online. This is a single elimination draft, so we'll do our best here. We have a mythic, God Eternal Oketra. That is, all of the God Eternals are busted. It's just more than you'd expect from a 5-mana creature, and then has some cool ability. So whenever we cast a creature spell, we get an Eternal, basically. And then it keeps coming back. So I think that's going to be it here. We also have an incredibly powerful Planeswalker double removal spell, Kaya, Bane of the Dead. This goes into more decks, but it is slightly harder to cast for all that. Definitely harder to splash. So for me, it's going to be God Eternal Oketra, brought back to serve me and make a bunch of 4/4s. There are some good commons, but I think most of them are worse than these two, so not missing out on much there. Dovin, Hand of Control. I don't really like this one. It does protect stuff and bubble. Yeah, it minuses to bubble an opponent's creature or permanent, I guess. But there you have it. We have another creature here, Sunblade Angel, 3/3, first strike, vigilance, lifelink, flying. All of that's very good. If it had haste, it'd be even better, because it could help pressure planeswalkers without your opponent having a chance to react to it. This is a bit of a tough one. I don't love Dovin, although most planeswalkers are going to be good. I don't know what to expect from Sunblade Angel, except it is a creature we can cast. Soul Diviner's not in our colors here. Yeah, I'm going to grab this Angel. This format has stricken me as slow, but also one where you want to establish a board early. Sunblade Angel is definitely not an early play, but it could be a powerful late game thing to do. Liliana's Triumph. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, or just a creature. You have to read these cards twice because this format just has a lot going on in it. All of the planeswalkers have passives, which are not always relevant or useful, but they do come up. When it enters Amass 2, Dreadhorde Twins is pretty good. I guess I just want another early creature. I don't want to branch out into another color yet. There's no great removal spell. A 5-drop would be okay. I'm going to grab this War Screecher, although mainly that's just because of a color consideration and not wanting to commit here yet. We know we want to be in white. We're not really sure about our second color yet. Shriek Diver, I've been happy with these hasty, evasive creatures. Erratic Visionary is cool. Trying to think what would go best in a Flyers deck. Probably another Flyer. Then I like Tamiyo's Epiphany. I do like Erratic Visionary. Kind of an expensive looter, but a looter nonetheless. And an early little blocker and whatever. Yeah, Tamiyo's Epiphany or Erratic Visionary. I'm going to grab the Visionary here. The Epiphany is quite good, but it is also a bit expensive, and I want to make sure I have some stuff to do. Unlikely Aid, Combat Trick. Finisher is pretty good, especially if you're attacking on the ground. We also have Guild Globe and Mana Geode, both solid. I might grab the Guild Globe here. It doesn't ramp us up to God Oketra Eternal, but it does draw a card and filter into some bomb we might want to cast. Callous Dismissal, pretty good too, but let us grab Guild Globe. Make sure we have some good early plays. Bolt Bend, I've been gotten by that one. Put a 1/1 counter on a creature and it gets first strike until end of turn and you gain 2 life. Yeah, see, even common spells like this just do so much. It does 3 different things. You have to keep track of all of them. No blue cards coming around. Vampire Opportunist is one I like. Maybe we can take this battlefield promotion. Not the worst trick in the world, but also not too exciting. Gains first strike until end of turn. I'm trying to think what that would be good on. Well, it's good with Proliferate. Turret Ogre is also kind of powerful. Yeah, I'll just take the good creature here. We don't have a good 4-drop yet. Maybe we'll go into red. If not, no big deal. Not giving up on much there. Pledge of Unity. Okay, finally kind of a powerful payoff card. 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So not a bad trick. If you have 3 creatures out, it's instant speed +3/+3, although not as good maybe as being able to target where you want. But then you gain some life, because why not? We have some more of these Sky Theater Strixes. I guess that's more of a red-blue card, but fine in any deck. I'll grab the Pledge of Unity as a solid trick. Divine Arrow is a nice one. And Courage in Crisis is also a solid spell. If you are establishing some early creatures, you can keep pumping them up. And, you know, we could make a pretty solid white-green aggressive deck with a bunch of these things. However, maybe cards like this will keep coming around, and I want this Divine Arrow to make sure we get some removal in our deck. Iron Bully. I've been pretty happy with this card, and it's the kind of card that makes all the Proliferate a bit better, although we kind of passed on that. Still, I will grab an Iron Bully here over Defiant Strike or whatever else. Anything else good? Teferi's Time Twist, no thank you. God Pharaoh's Statue as an alternate win condition, I would say. Kind of expensive to rely on it. Demolish and another 4/3. Return to Nature, Primordial Worm, a massive creature for 6 mana, although it doesn't do much besides get chump blocked turn after turn. Enforcer Griffin is okay, Catharsis might be okay. Return to Nature is a nice sideboard option. I'm going to grab the Enforcer Griffin. I mean, it's a solid card, and you're going to have to take playables for your deck eventually, as much as I don't want to admit it. Emergent Zone, not a lot of utility here. I guess it's interesting, and there will be a lot of 2-color decks where you don't absolutely need the fixing. Storm the Citadel might be a nice one to try out. Nice. Wheeling these white cards. Not sure how useful Topple is. Sided in against a couple extra artifacts, certainly. And never too bad to put in your deck. It does draw you a card. But even getting something back like Pouncing Lynx is such a good tempo play with Iron Bully. Hello, 2 Planeswalkers. Because we have a foil, and there might, I mean, these might both be really good. Look at the top. Okay, so Vivian pluses to give creatures vigilance and reach. Minuses to exile and find more card advantage. And then Sorin, from what I can tell, is completely overpowered. I've played with it a bit. And we're not really devoted to any second color yet. We missed maybe a few. We missed 1 or 2 black cards we could have picked up in that pack. Vivian's such a cheap one, though. Vigilance and Reach, so it definitely protects itself. It definitely finds more things to do. But Sorin just gives all of your stuff lifelink. It's a good follow-up to First Strike creatures and whatever. I'm going to grab Sorin here. But boy, do I not know about that one. There we go. More interesting stuff. Whatley, we can focus on the toughness of our creatures. Most of our creatures are more tough than usual. We even have Whatley's Raptor. This one is okay even if we're in Orzhov. Anyway, what does the Raptor do? It's just a 2/3 vigilance, and when it enters, proliferate. So not bad value for the mana. Then there's Trusted Pegasus, which is solid, but I'm going to grab this Planeswalker here. And my early draft Assault Formation deck is in the works. So what else can we do here? We can pick up some more white cards. I also think Spark Harvest is pretty good. Destroy target creature or Planeswalker. Then we have another worse creature, which is exactly what we want with Huatli. An evasive early creature that we can attack for 3 on turn 3 with in the air to pressure just anything. Yeah, tough one here. Pollen Bright Druid would be good if I was more sure about going into green, which I'm definitely not. So what's it going to be? I guess it's going to be this creature here. Samut gives your creatures haste for a 4 mana enchantment, basically, sitting in play. And then you can -1 to give a pump to something very aggressive card. Something I might not be too interested here. Whoa, Bond of Discipline, a swingy card. Tap down your opponent's field, and if you have any creatures, they're going to gain some life. So very, very interesting, very swingy. I'm not sure it's what I want, though. Now that we have Huatli, we can focus on, well, protecting Huatli, get some Divine Arrow nonsense going, or getting another Enforcer Griffin. I'm not worried about getting enough creatures, so I'm going to take another Divine Arrow, and that also lets us take the draw, potentially. Whenever this or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, it's only stuff you control, but other than that, it's pretty much a Blood Artist. And it's a 2/2 if we have Huatli. Is that good enough? Is that good enough? I mean, it's pretty much just get a lot of stuff into play. They can be tokens, and then trade off, and then you're in good shape. I'll take the Cruel Celebrant here. Oh, Gideon's Triumph is also... Well, Gideon's Triumph is probably just better. That is a tough one, because how many creatures are we really going to have? Maybe not enough for the Celebrant. Yeah, I'll take another Triumph here. Teo. Teo's cool. I don't know how good it is. Submersible has no evasion despite being a submarine. What's the point of building a submarine if you can't use it for evasion? Kind of a weird crew cost. Not something we're so interested in. We can make 0/3 defenders, which are decent with Huatli, but not broken. And then what else? Vraska's Finisher. Well, I'll take Teo here. Why not? Get some more planeswalkers for what it's worth. Silverwing, 2/3, not bad, but I like the idea of these Griffins, I think, in this deck. Beacon is fixing for Planeswalker spells, although the Planeswalkers we have are fitting into our deck nicely without that, so I'll take another Griffin. Charmed Stray, pretty much only good if you're getting a bunch of them, and we don't have so many of them just yet. They're also okay with cards like Iron Bully, which pump them up, because that lifelink does add up. Tidebreaker Giant, 6 mana to draw a card and get a 4/5. You know what? That might be good enough in this format. Beacon, just in case. Don't love Heartwarming Redemption. It looks like it should be good from the art, but it's instant speed. I guess that's a good one. Kind of discard all your lands in the late game. Could be decent, but I'll take the Beacon in case we pick up a really solid Planeswalker in the next pack that we have to play. Draw a life. Draw a life. Draw a card, gain a life by sacrificing a creature or Planeswalker. Not so much we want to sacrifice yet. Not a bad size of a creature, but I think we're okay taking Shriek Diver here. Even with the Huatli, it's not a bad one to have. Bolt Bend, just so I don't get gotten by it. 4 mana, 2/5. And then Unlikely Aid to protect a creature. And, for what it's worth, Loxodon Sergeant. A Vigilant 3/3 makes all our other stuff vigilant for a turn. Maybe that's a bit better than the Krovod, even with our Huatli. I guess that's debatable. I don't really want to play either. And this deck has so much going on early that it does not need to win early. Wow, Parhelion 2. The Skyship Parhelion was destroyed, I guess, and they made another one. Flying First Strike Vigilance. I mean, this card is too funny. Yeah, We have to take it because it looks awesome, and making 2 angels is a win in itself. And then the angel can cruise, you can block with it, hence vigilance. Yeah, 2 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance that are attacking. Attack with this, you win the game, which is great. And I guess that's why we took all the topples, because those are pretty good against artifact vehicles. I guess all vehicles are artifacts so far. Anyway, let's take that. Is there anything else really worth considering in this pack? Maybe some early plays. I've had a lot of fun with Ashiok. It does mill a lot of cards for a single card, especially if you're able to pump it up a bit. Casualties of War. That might just be the best card in the set. I don't know how we're going to splash green, but this is a reason to splash green if I've ever seen one. We have Guild Globe. That adds 1 green. It can't add 2 green, if I read it correctly. Different colors. But I also can't let someone else get this. There's nothing really... Okay, we're passing Jaya, which is also a decent thing to splash. Teo's Light Shield, which would be okay in this deck, but Casualties of War is completely unbeatable. Blast Zone, we could relive my sealed experience almost. Blast Zone. Do I want this card? It's pretty easy to put in a deck. Maybe I just take Law Rune Enforcer here instead. Very cheap to keep tapping down a creature. And more consistent than the Blast Zone. I'll take it here, sure. Blast Zone's a nice one, though. I'm not going to say that was an obvious or easy pick, or even a correct one, because it's hard to know yet. Not too many drafts under my belt. Any good black cards? Ghost Form is really unreliable. Hopefully you could just pick up another card that you want to cast instead of having this weird way of getting back one of your bombs. Is there any fixing? No. Unfortunately, this Casualties of War is going to be a tough one. What do we have here? Get a power until end of turn. Pollen Bright Druid. Nothing in this pack really interests me. Maybe I'll take Pollen Bright Druid. Proliferate is powerful. Crunch Wrangler. Defiant Strike. Another Iron Bully. And then Makeshift Battalion, which is fairly strong. A 3/2 that can attack its first time potentially as a 4/3 and keeps getting bigger. Iron Bully's just annoying to deal with, and it's going to make our flyers pretty big. And then New Horizons, which lets us put in a bit of green and more easily get up to Casualties of War, if that's what we're trying to do. At that point, though, it looks like splashing for our fixing, which is not always the best idea. Tough one. I'll take this. Casualties is that good. I don't know if I'm messing myself up overly much to get there, but it is a good one. Battalion versus Finisher. What is this? Destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. Any damage at all, whether it's from Sorin or whatever. So I think that makes it good enough to take here. Kiora, not the deck for it. Spark Reaper, and the Krovod keeps coming back around. The only card for us here is really Spark Reaper, I guess. We don't have a lot of stuff to sacrifice to it, but drawing cards is always nice. Return to Nature is one that would be good against us with our bomb here. I'll take Spark Reaper. This is the kind of thing that if you're in chump block mode, you can do that and then sort of get something out of it. Target player discards 2 cards and loses 2 life. That's okay. Dovin I don't think is what we want. Although maybe it's better than it looks. Just gets to bubble things for a while. We don't have a great combo with it, I don't think. We could also take this Nurturer. Yeah, you know what? Let's go back into a green a little bit. Looks a bit weird, but it'll be worth it. Another Griffin, sure, that's the kind of card we want. Another finisher, and then we're going to need some cuts to make this deck any good. Charity Extractor, 5/5 lifelink for 4, if all goes well. Bully and Strike. If only this was a format of acceptable levels of fixing. I could cut, well, I can't really cut white, and I can't really cut either black or green, but if I'm going to cut anything, I think it's going to be cutting a bit of black and focusing on our green for the fixing. As it turns out, I mean, certainly the white is good enough. Definitely not blue. The planeswalkers aren't the issue. So let's see what this looks like. And it could be less of a creature-based deck than I thought at first, so maybe Pledge of Unity isn't even that good. Teo. Teo, I don't mind playing that out of the sideboard, I don't think. Huatley's good enough. Mostly a lot of life gain, but it pumps just about all of our creatures. One Iron Bully might be decent. How about 18 lands for this deck? The other color we're not interested in here is red. Not anymore. Storm the Citadel is not going to be good enough. Alright, so what are the splashes here? It's really just splashing for Casualties of War, which is pretty easy to cast off of New Horizons. Okay to cast off of the Nurturer and Guild Globe. Sorin, so how are we doing this? Pouncing Lynx. Pollen Bright Druid, what does that help with? That helps with some loyalty on our planeswalkers. Counters with New Horizons. And it's a 2/2 to begin with. Maybe it helps out Iron Bully. Only have a couple planeswalkers. It's possible Pollen Bright Druid is not the best, but it is okay. Yeah, what about this deck? Is this deck going to run into problems against control? Maybe. Maybe that's its biggest issue, because what I'd want with all this early removal is to be on the draw and to play against an aggressive deck and just trade 1-for-1 with their creatures for a little bit and then outclass them with some of our stuff. Yeah, that said, maybe I don't want Pouncing Lynx and we can focus on making it to the late game and setting up whatever else we have going on. Iron Bully could be okay. Pledge of Unity, if we're having a trick at all, that might be a better one. Is 18 lands too many? That is a tough question to answer. I don't think 18 is too many here. Not with all of this stuff, such as it is. And we're missing out on a little bit of power, but I really want the consistency here. 18 lands. That's why I'm putting in Spark Reaper. We can even sacrifice itself, so Chump Block sacrifice, pump some stuff up, sacrifice the Pollen Bright Druid, sacrifice a lame Huatley who we don't need anymore, and then make it up to Parhelion. Yep, okay. Weird one, but I think that's just about what we want. You know, maybe I could go one more card. I could put one more non-land in this deck and just hope to be on the draw. And that should do it, although I can't really see exactly what we want. Maybe it's just going to be Topple the Statue. That seems like a fine compromise here. It's a bit controlling. It does kill artifacts, and there are a few including the fixing that we might want to get rid of. Really slow someone down. So this is 15 white, 4 and 4 basically. Whatley can just be a white card. 15, 4 and 4. A little heavier green because that's where our fixing is coming from. So go 9, 5, 2. And then one more black. 9, 5, 3. Whoops, how did I end up doing that? 5. 17 lands there. We only have 2 swamps, but that is enough to cast casualties. We also have New Horizons, Centaur, and Guild Globe for the extra black that we might need. And hopefully that's enough. New Horizons can do it on its own. Nurturer needs a little help. But I mean, it's just one card in our deck that's pretty difficult to cast, but wins us the game if we ever cast it. The rest into white, 9 white. 9 white is a lot, but we also have a lot of white, especially early. And 5 green is usually enough to get there, and that takes a lot of the pressure off for getting enough fixing to cast our stuff. So I like that balance. Clean up the sideboard real quick, and we are onto some matches. Parhelion 2, let's do it. Round 1 versus the Nutlow. Would you like to play first? Yes. This deck... Oh, shoot, no. Been waiting a while, so I forgot. This deck probably doesn't want to be playing first, but here we are playing first. Maybe we won't get run over, but of course this is a hand where we just want to keep drawing lands, and we could do that more easily if we were on the draw. Like, we might actually play our 5-drop later because we didn't get the land, although we are drawing well. We already have our Enforcer Griffin mana, so better off now that we were on the draw, honestly, and our opponent is not having a good draw. Already having to discard. Here's an interesting choice. Do we run out Pollen Bright Druid? I guess we have no reason not to. Whew. Proliferate, huh? I think if I chose that, it would be like, okay, which players do you want to get more counters? Instead of letting me take it back. Druid, I guess I attack into that. It's not like we're punished too bad if we get hit, unlike in some formats. No, we don't need to rush things here. I just want to be as safe as possible, and we certainly don't want to block that with our 3/4 flyer, because they can pump it and then ping it when it dies. Little devil over here. Find out whose that is. I like its energy. Well, it's the Nutlows. And you can't have it. Judith, whoever. Oh, Judith is the Rakdos ringleader, or whatever it is. I remember Judith. Honor of the God Pharaoh. This is the red divination. You discard, so they discarded Soul Diviner. They are a Grixis deck, apparently. And I think we just won the game. If they can't kill these flyers, then they're in real bad shape. We can start attacking in. Next turn we're going to be gaining some life, and if they kill a creature, they'll have to kill our 3/3 flyer, not our 3/4 flyer, so it's a pretty bad spot for them. Do they attack at all? No, they aren't making any attacks here. They probably have a handful of blue cards. We hit the land drop, which is nice because we might be able to get this Parhelion Patrol, well, this Parhelion 2 out. Not that we'll need it. Anyway, land, why not? Swing with the flyers, and hitting here probably just wins us the game. But why not? Whoops. Why not keep going while the going is good? You have to watch out for the wrath effects in the format. I don't know of the cheap red and black ones. I definitely looked at all the cards in the set, but I guess I didn't study them too deeply yet. So I haven't memorized all the tricks, and I haven't memorized all the sweepers, I guess. I know there's the Boros sweeper that kills all creatures. Well, it deals damage to each creature equal to its power, or rather each creature damages itself equal to its power, so you get things like lifelink when you're doing that. They got a dragon for what it's worth, and this can come out next turn. I think this turn we're going to use Divine Arrow to get past that dragon. What else are we going to do? I guess that's it. So we send our flyers at Sarkhan. We send Tithe Bearer at them. And then whichever... Whoops, 1 damage to that creature. Yeah, see, you have to watch out for these passives. Read the... If you don't know exactly what the Planeswalker does, you should probably read it when it comes into play. And I skipped that step. Didn't turn out too poorly for me. They still don't have a good block on Tithe Bearer Giant or anything. And we're just going to Divine Arrow that dragon before we take critical damage. I'll even be tricky here and let first strike happen. So Sarkhan dies, and then do it. Just to be extra safe. I know you want to see Parhelion too, but I don't want them to see it. They bring in their Demolish or something, which is a, you know, doubly bad against, or doubly good against Parhelion, because killing lands makes it impossible to cast, and if we do cast it, they can just turn Demolish to kill it. Well, that worked out nicely, partly because they didn't do anything, and partly because we drew lands, and all of that. And randomly good that we were on the play, because that meant they drew a card and had to discard a bit sooner. Yeah, Teo might be good in a matchup like this, but they have a lot of flyers and stuff that I'm a bit worried about. Why don't we submit again like this? This looks good. And they'll put us on the draw, which is what our deck is designed for. And, you know, even if we lost that game, I'd probably decide to be on the draw. I will keep this hand. It doesn't look amazing, but this is the kind of hand we might need to play out most of the cards in our deck. Of course, it is bad to draw lands, but even lands we can use. Iron Bully's a nice draw there. Okay. Just put a 1/1 counter on it. And it's not like we have a ton of Proliferate in the deck, so I'm not sure what I'll do this turn. I guess that settles it. We'll put another counter on the Druid to attack in there. And get extra punished when they find an answer to our 3/3. Our Voltron Pollenbright Druid. Interplanar Beacon, this is the Planeswalker filter land. Another Prophet. Take that, Iron Bully. Parhelion, that's why we kept this hand, because we have Parhelion 2 in our deck. I don't think this can go too poorly for us, even if they did have a 1-mana black trick, and I don't think those exist. The black trick I know about is, well, there's a sorcery, you can sacrifice a creature to kill something, and there's a 2-mana combat trick in black that gives indestructible. If I don't have all the cards memorized, I definitely don't have all the names of the cards memorized. But I figure I'll pick most of that up after my first few drafts. What is this? Planeswalker spells, huh? We have, don't tell me it's Sarkhan, no, Nahiri. Abilities are easier to activate. They get their prowess triggers. They gain a life. X damage to target tapped creature, and it starts at 6. So goodbye Pollenbright Druid here. But that puts Nahiri down to 3. I wonder if they'll attack in. If they do, we can put Nahiri down even lower. Yeah, they're coming in. They might as well come in with both since we have Menace. Soren is not terrible because it means a lot of our draws are live now. Our 5 black sources, because the forest turns on 2 more of those sources. Yeah, so we'll go after Nahiri here. And that's part of the reason the format's a bit slower, is because we're not doing damage to them. We're just doing a little bit of damage to their extra stuff. They probably, yeah, they minus here on the bully, which is fair enough. Please don't kill Enforcer Griffin. What has it ever done to you? Angrath, amass 2. So it's a slow 4 mana 4/4 menace, rather. And then it makes all their creatures unblockable. So this game is going far different. And yeah, the funny part of all this is they did have a blue source, so I think they're just like a Super Friends deck. That's what it looks like. Now they didn't amass Angrath. I wonder what that's about. They didn't amass with Angrath. They just wanted to give menace. 5, 6. So what we're going to do is pressure Angrath here, because otherwise we can't really make the blocks we need. And now that we've attacked, they might use its minus to make a 2/2, so it's not just doing nothing. They'll play another Planeswalker here. Attack for 4. We have Divine Arrow to kill one of these things. And then they keep scrying too. That's another thing I should be tracking, is where they've put these scries. Bottom, top. It can matter a little bit, but I guess they're just not drawing any lands if they don't want to. Divine Arrow. Hopefully this works out for us. I mean, we have been taking enough damage here that I'm a little worried about it. Come on, Black Source. Untapping and playing something else, are they? Wow, all the Burning Prophets. Nurturer is amazing because that gains us 3 life randomly and helps us cast Soren next turn. So gain the life here. We can attack into Angrath, and that will let Centaur Nurturer block one of these things. It even gets Parhelion 2 out there if we really need it. Don't kill Nurturer, please. Sarkhan. Sarkhan's really bad for us here. Extra bad. So we go to 11, and they get a dragon. -3 to get a dragon, so even our Soren can't kill it. Maybe we'll go after Nahiri, but we'll... Yeah, because that takes away a dragon next turn. Each Planeswalker you control, including itself, becomes a big monster. Oh, and including all of these things. These become 4/4 dragons. That's 10. We block one of these. Ouch. Alright, that hurts a lot, but lifelink might help us out here. Oh no, we need to draw a black source, I think. Yes, that's really good. What does that do? That lets us gain some life. We desperately need to gain some life. We can also return a creature potentially. Don't see how that helps us. 3, 4, 5. We could gain 6. Say we gain 6 this turn by getting back Pollen Bright, putting a counter there, attacking Sarkhan, then they plus it again. Sarkhan surviving is really bad for us. But let's see. What if we kill Nahiri? 3, 4, we gain 4. Prevent 1 or 2. Oh, what a pain. It's not looking good. Pollen Bright can sort of chump something, so that's another option. Iron Bully. Makes a creature, so we gain 6 that way. 9, then we die to Sarkhan's plus again. So I think we need to kill one of these things. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're attacking for 8 in the air. Is there no way to win this? This might not be winnable from this position. We gain 6, we kill one of these things, but then they attack back for just 1,000,000. Oh well, nothing for it. Let's get in there. Finish off a Planeswalker. And then die to their response here. Attack Sarkhan. Does this gain more life? I guess this does gain more life. Maybe they'll fall for it. They each take a damage. But our stuff has lifelink, so if they don't cast a whatever spell, I mean, we're still dead on board. Wow. Should I be on the draw again? I mean, this was a pretty bad hand. Parhelion is just not very good, I think. Obviously, it's good if you get it out there and have 4 power of creatures. But boy, is it fun, and what beautiful art. Honor the God Pharaoh. Okay. Draw 2 cards, amass 1. This is game 2, right? So we won the first game, if I'm not mistaken. Where's this game 3? Well, whatever. They're just showing off now. Mizium tank, why not? So they're going to try to kill us and Sorin? Because they can. No, I guess it's just us. Fun game. I think we can beat this. They do have Mizium tank, which means topple the statue gets better. They have a lot of different lands, so well, demolish gets better, but that's not one that is so easy for us to use. We have a topple main, so I think our deck's set up well. I'm going to choose to be on the draw. Teo's not good against their flyers. It's pretty much Sorin is the problem. And the fact that they have these random planeswalkers that aren't that good, but then they play Sorin and they all become good. Or rather, they play Sarkhan. I've got the Sorin. So here we go. I will not play first. I will let them play first. We do have our black source here. Keep it. And hopefully we don't just get run over by some natural draw. Get our green out, why not? And then we have Guild Globe here. Old trusty turn 2 Guild Globe to keep stuff happening. Mizium tank. At odds here, because to play a creature, they won't get a pump, and to play a spell, it just gets +1/+1 until end of... Oh, and it becomes an artifact creature. Mizium tank's better than I thought, and that is a reason we need to hold up Divine Arrow, I would guess. Maybe that pause there is going to make them wonder, but I will end step. Yeah, they're not going to attack into Divine Arrow. Smart. So smart. Okay. So what do? We can't really do much, can we? Just play this Nurturer. And now they'll attack with the tank. Oh, I mean, keeping the tank back is fine too. We still have our arrow. And next turn we can do Huatli and the arrow. And the turn after that, if we draw the land, we get Sorin and hold up arrow. If they still don't attack into it. Well, hold on. Next turn we can even do that because we've got the Nurturer, although I don't want to tap that out. So if we need black, we could use the Guild Globe here to begin with. And they're not doing anything again. That is wonderful news. So we get land, and we get, what do we get? We don't need the extra life here. So what do we get? I wonder if we should just play Sorin. That does force a response from them. I mean, Huatli's also pretty good. Yeah, let's go ahead and filter into Sorin. You'll notice I'm not holding up white here to make it look a little more suspicious, because I'm all about looking suspicious. And then even if they kill the Nurturer, it's going to be kind of tough for them to... Well, if they kill it main phase, then we can't even use Divine Arrow. And they were playing around it, so I don't think they'll stop now. Then they could kill Sorin pretty quickly. That would be the worst for us. That would be really bad. Yeah, so maybe I should have been a little more careful here and played Huatli. Because even like the -5/-5 spell is something that I can't beat so easily. But if they go to attacks, then all is well. They are still not doing anything. I think they're color stuck. So that should really win us the game. I mean, they would need some kind of miracle to stop us now. Angel, I mean, we could just start playing out random stuff like that. Tidebearer Giant, why not? Well, the thing is, I do want Divine Arrow up here, so instead of all that, let's cast Huatli. And we don't need the life, so we can just play War Screecher and keep all our stuff up again. Wow, it feels so strange to not use a Planeswalker that we have access to. Don't forget to use the Planeswalkers that you should, and don't worry about not using Planeswalkers where you don't need to. Now we'll start getting in a bunch more damage because we have a 3/3 flyer. What is this? Sarkhan's back. Did they attack with their Sarkhan last time? The turn it came into play? I mean, it doesn't give itself haste, right? Trample coming in there. Trample coming in here. What does that mean? I guess that means we're supposed to use Divine Arrow on it. But then, can we kill this Sarkhan? It's close. And we might need to use the Divine Arrow to get rid of a dragon. So I could just block this with the Nurturer. That doesn't leave much black up. Yeah, let's use Divine Arrow. Could just take in the damage too. Oh, they're making the dragon. That's a tough one for me. And I think they were baiting that out so they could make the dragon. But, well, there you are. 1 damage to target Planeswalker, so that can go back and forth for a bit. In any case, what do we have here? We do need to pressure Sarkhan. We can try to draw a card, or play Sunblade Angel. And I rather like the idea of drawing a card, I think. Lose a life, draw a card, play that, so maybe they're worried about more stuff. And we can't attack through that dragon this turn. So they're going to keep plussing Sarkhan. I don't think they get to attack this turn unless they want to chip in for 2 damage on a Planeswalker. Our Sorin should keep pace nicely with Sarkhan. I think they could attack with Sarkhan this turn. That's not out of the question. And if they do that, maybe they attack with the dragon too. Really interesting format. And then whenever a creature attacks your Planeswalker you control, each dragon you control deals 1 damage to that creature. Okay, so this does nothing if they don't control a dragon. Alright, so they're coming in with both dragons to kill Huatli. Oh no. It's so wrong. Yeah, so I think I have to throw War Screecher under the bus. Or do I? To save Huatli? Does that even matter? No, I think we just let Huatli die here. It looks weird, but now we can actually kill Sarkhan if they don't have a flyer or a removal spell for the War Screecher. And presumably they did that because they needed to kill the Screecher or take off the Huatli's ability. Burning Prophet, maybe they'll just do a bunch of those. Planeswalker spells. What is this going to be? This is Kiora untapping their dragon. What a pain. Untap target permanent. Untap the dragon so it can block and protect their thing. Topple, just tap target permanent. Draw a card. So we do kill Sarkhan this turn, thank goodness. There's Parhelion. Ping that. Attack Sarkhan. 1 damage to it. Ooh, thank goodness they do not have 3 dragons. And we might as well play the Spark Reaper. We even gain some life back from that because of our Sorin lifelink. Are we out of the woods? We're not out of the woods yet, although this might be the game for Parhelion. We can cast it next turn. We can crew it with a single creature, or basically any other 2 creatures. We have a giant Sorin in play that'll be hard to kill. There are a few Elder spells and whatnot that kill it. Gosh, what is all this? Like, it's the stacks get crazy here. What does this one do? Copies the next instant or sorcery spell you play. They're going to untap so they can play some massive spell, I imagine. Or they just scry 2. Okay, what are they going to do? Kill 2 creatures? Kill Nurturer and Tithe Bearer Giant or something? Bleeding Edge. Oh, they're going to double kill the Nurturer here and amass 4? What is going on? Yeah, that does stop us from casting Parhelion too, and all black creatures that we would draw. One damage to target opponent or planeswalker. So they're going after Sorin a little bit by bit here, because we just have too much life, and maybe they can tickle Sorin down eventually. We can get back the Nurturer, but it will take time. They're going to hold back to defend, because otherwise we just kill Ral. Okay, what a turn. There, that is our 8th land that we need to play Parhelion 2. That has to be right, right? That has to be right. Now we need to, well, we could get back Centaur. I don't think that's as important as getting rid of Ral's ability to minus here. And we cannot attack with Parhelion 2 this turn, so that is the plan next turn. And we can block with it, so that if they come at us with the dragon, we will strongly consider crewing this and blocking with it. That does give them an out to kill it before we attack. And really, it's just, if we attack with this, it's game over. That's what, 9, 13 lifelink, lucky 13 coming in. Yeah, we probably can't block here. There's no reason to block here. And if they have to kill Tithe Bearer Giant and Sorin. Oh, come on. Each non-army creature. So widespread brutality, this is going to accomplish it. Not only do they kill all of our creatures, but they kill Sorin. Because they're going to have some... Well, no, they don't quite get there because... Oh, yeah, because it'll just be this army. But can we bring back enough with Sorin to attack with Parhelion? Wow. 3, end step. It's going to be close. We don't need much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Please don't counter it. Then we'll get back War Screecher. And crew this. Done. And attack all kinds of good stuff. I think that's them conceding here. Yes, Parhelion 2. We didn't get to see our angels. They denied us that pleasure. But this was going to come in Parhelion at Kiora, Angel at Ral, Angel at them. Maybe 2 angels at Ral, just for good measure. To the skies. Round 2 versus Denisovich Alexei. Yes, this looks like a great hand for the draw, depending on the type of deck they're playing. So if they're applying early pressure, we can definitely relieve some of that. But if they're a more controlling deck, then Divine Arrows might be pretty useless. We'll have to see. Time will tell. In any case, we can play our spells. 1/1 counter. Let's get that going so now they can't just play some Planeswalker that sits out there and does nothing, because we can chip away at it. Blue-black. This does look awfully like control. I wish we had a way of interacting with that. Proliferate. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell. So the first thing they do is probably not going to get them much advantage. Huatli doesn't do much here. I'm going to come in with Pollenbright Druid and then play War Screecher. That's the most aggressive thing we can do. Maybe I'll even waste Divine Arrow on the Flux Channeler. Yeah, no, it's fine. We don't have much Proliferate going on ourselves, so this is just going to have a bigger attacker in. Weird. Herald of the Dreadhorde. If you say so. When it dies, make a 2/2. Gideon's Triumph. We play Huatli, it goes to 4, and then they're going to have a heck of a time killing it, but yeah, let's just race him here a bit. This gains us so much life. I'm glad they have creatures. It's a little concerning that their creature just multiplies itself when it dies. No! Vraska's finisher. We just got finished. Okay, well, we can still kind of attack in here, and then hopefully our divine arrows just do their stuff. That was awkward. Destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. Protect your dragons. Look at my top card. They know about it before I do. I hope it's a land of some kind. Yeah, get them to sacrifice something. That amasses, then we can kill this thing. The Triumph can deal with bigger things, but the Divine Arrow is targeted, so maybe that helps a bit more. Get this out there while the going is good. So they saw the Griffin, and that's the only card they knew about. Wait, no, they saw land? Spark Harvest to kill the Griffin. They attack in here, we can block a little bit. Parhelion 2 doesn't do much. I'm going to sit back here. Even if we kill one of their attackers, we've still only got a 1/3 and we can't outrace 2 damage. Visionary. And they're not going to attack at all this turn. Fair? Fair enough. Alright, topple the statue. Just to get some card draw going. And now I guess I'll come in there, because I could use, well, first of all, they could amass big enough to kill this. Second of all, Divine Arrow can kill that zombie army, or maybe even the Visionary. Nice little 2-for-1 there. Kaya, huh? Goodbye, worse creature. Ouch. Yeah, let's kill that Visionary. Not many chances to kill that. And draw something good. 7, not quite there, to Parhelion. And then this is looking really bad. We're so far down on card advantage. And it doesn't really matter how small their creature is, it's still going to just kill us. Until we draw 2 creatures. And they've just drawn, 4 extra cards or whatever, so yeah, it's a tough one. Alright, there's creature number 1. We can sacrifice it in response to Kaya. Thank goodness. So Kaya's pretty much done for. Of course, we're pretty much done for too. And they even have another, yeah. It's 10 damage there. All I can think of is that we need to draw 4 power worth of creatures here. And maybe we have a chance if we do exactly that. Even then, no, it's not enough chance to win it. So there's that game. That game's done with. Tough putting them on the play because they have so much card draw that they can recover from a lot of that. And now they know about Parhelion 2. Still, there's not much else I can see putting in here. I'm just going to submit again. Don't want to play first. Don't want to have a hand this bad. So this is a mulligan to try to, well, I mean, we've got an 8-drop, a 6-drop, a 5-drop in our hand. And the only color we have doesn't help us early. So not the best looking hand. Maybe they're thinking about a tough mulligan as well. Or maybe they're waiting for us to mulligan. How about this hand? This hand is also really bad. And the Divine Arrows aren't very good against them. Yeah, this is like one of the worst hands, like barely keepable, probably not even keepable. Yeah, I think a 5 would be better. This, I mean, this is decent. Casualties of War. Oh, goodness. You know, that might be our only way to win a game like this. I feel like we would just lose before getting to cast it, though. Do we have shuffle effects in our deck? No, we have to put this on the bottom. Yeah, I'm going to bottom it. That looks weird, but this is the kind of game where, 1, we need it, but 2, we'll never get to cast it. Well, maybe we would have gotten to cast it. Oh, geez. That would, I mean, it's the only card in our deck that would do it, really. That's still okay. This does get us a turn for Sorin. You figure it would take a turn off, but no, it's kind of the same turn as it would usually be. Hold on. We're gonna have the extra white. There's no way to shuffle up our deck. Not that I know of. I'll just put this on a forest. Not really sure what Sorin does here. I mean, it does get a lot of loyalty and a little bit of life. But without a board, it just dies so quickly. It's going to go to 1. Gideon's Triumph. That's almost good enough. Also very bad against this stuff going on here. Not an easy game. Definitely not an easy game. Okay, Skulker. I do like that card. Sorin's down to 1, so it's going to be too difficult to protect. We don't find the land we need for Tithebreaker Giant. So it's been fun while it lasted. We did attack with Parhelion. I said I would call that a win. I think I built this deck pretty much right, but the mulligan didn't quite get there, and it wasn't a mana balance issue. It was just a mana screw issue in this last game, and their deck is definitely powerful enough to get us here. I don't have my Gideon Planeswalker, so they only have to sacrifice the worst of them. And that's all I have. We're not dead yet, it's just we're going to keep getting further behind. Need that land. Land off the top is required. And then what? I mean, I imagine they can kill some creatures at some point. We can't block much of anything, so why don't we get out Sunblade Angel to begin with? Hopefully they don't just kill it or steal it or worse. Obnixilis' Cruelty, nice common. One of the best. I figure since we hit our land drop that turn, it would have been okay to cast this. If this gets countered, we're in bad shape. Crushed Descent, yeah. I mean, it's such a high-powered format that these late miscalculations can still catch stuff. I mean, you'd figure this would be easy to play around, but it turns out not that easy and not that bad, even if you can counter it, because it does always amass you the creature. Thanks for watching my first 2 drafts, Parhelion 1 and 2. Good luck in your drafts. Hopefully you can make it a bit further, but yeah, it does seem like an interesting format.